The return to your body feels like waking after a fitful drunken sleep. The rocking of the ship sends pain jolting through your limbs. Crashing waves hammer inside your skull. Eder watches over your body with a glazed look, taking long, even tokes from his pipe. At the first movement of your chest, he starts. His gasp, mid-puff, sends him coughing and straining for breath.
No, there's no way. You're awake. What are you doing awake? How are you feeling? Me? You don't remember?
Eder points at his face, which he seems to be arranging into his most recognizable expression. Receiving no response, he shrugs.
I'm the captain of this boat, and I was real big back in Deerwood. Had this keep called Cadnua. I was famous. And I was what you'd call a watcher. I'd go around talking to dead folks and creeping out just about everyone who saw.
He holds up his hands with fingers curled to mimic claws.
You're just some farmer. Likes to follow me around. Take most of the beating for me when we get attacked. Don't worry, it'll all come back. Ah, see? You remember. Well, maybe it was you who was going around being a creepy watcher. I get mixed up easily. But that fortress was mine, I remember that. Well, if it doesn't, I still wouldn't mind you taking the hits for me when the fighting starts. Anyway, you didn't answer my question. How you feeling? Alive's a big improvement. That might have been me. I've been slapping you a little harder each day, trying to wake you. I never dreamed it'd work.
Eder stares with disbelief at what would likely be his slapping hand, examining both sides. He shrugs.
Well, you owe me. Sure, you've been out a long time. Sure, I mean, someone has to be there for the gods to get mad at. Sure, everybody should try it once. Hey, this brings back some memories, huh? I like that feeling, knowing we'd stop Theos. We were part of something big. And that was something I never felt before, not even at war. Guess I went looking for it again. Not that I wanted to tangle with gods, but something smaller, something I thought I could manage. There was that little town, Deerford, we passed through. Got hit real hard by the legacy. I went in and asked their mayor if I could help, and he was real friendly. But then it turned out he was in that Scanite cult they have over there. And when I wasn't looking, he tried to knock me out with a garden hoe. Guess he wanted to drain my blood or gouge out my eyes with rocks or whatever it is they do. Didn't ask. Anyway, I came out of his house carrying his head and, well, I got to be mayor after that. They didn't even want to do an election. I said, if you're sure, and they all nodded, kinda quick-like. Some of it I was good at, welcoming people, getting them to settle there, keeping order. But there were other things I had no head for. Negotiating, settling arguments, saying the right things. I think I made a difference, but plenty of folks got hurt along the way. And I don't know if that was something we could have avoided, or if it was the cost of trying to fix things. Well, there's a group of Eothasians in Deerwood, the night market. Go around helping other Eothasians in secret. Sorta like the Leaden Key, guess you could say. Except not a bunch of craven lunatics. So this one night I'm at a tavern, and this fella has a disagreement with me. Gave me Orland's head he'd lost some money at. And I'm bashing his head into the target when he notices I got this pendant with a symbol of Eothas on it. So we get to talking, and it turns out he's an all-right fella. Runs with the night market. And after he was feeling better a month or two later, he introduced me to some folks in the group, and they let me in. Well, it depended. The jobs we did, I got to help a lot of folks. A lot of times it was helping folks get out of bad situations, getting them set up with better ones. I liked that. But the group had problems. A lot of different ideas how to run things. Sometimes it cost the people we were trying to help. I looked all around the Deerwood, but that place has too many ghosts for me. Things I'd just as soon forget. Ended up moving to Eder and tracking down my parents. They went there as refugees after the war ended. In part, I guess. Eder, they still got some bad blood with Deerwood. Goes back to the Revolution. Some Adirans like to give Deerwoodans a hard time they get the chance. With my folks, a group came along and tried to take their land. Made a phony claim to it. I sat down with them and we had a friendly negotiation. One fella, I don't think he'll ever be able to look to his right again. But we came to an understanding. My folks, well, they didn't see me the same after that. I think they'd have rather given up the land than have it come to violence. The children of the Dawn Stars. I wondered if we'd run into them down here. There's someone I used to know, just an old friend. Came out here to settle with them last I heard. Maybe we should ask around, see if she's still out here. Might be she can help us.
Just a friend, huh?
Oh, well, both grew up in Gilded Vale, same temple. All right. We used to, you know. She was real loud, too. Used to have to cover her mouth or she'd get the dog howling in the next room. Is this a provincial euphemism, or were you actually being discreet?
Not sure whether the mental image I just got were from you or from me. Well done either way.
Fie, you've just a squawk a mite louder to drown him out. I knew you'd understand. You're gonna like her. I got a good feeling. There's an old story about Eothas. They don't teach it at church. It starts with this little girl, and she's crying because it's the middle of the night and her daddy's not home yet. She wants to go looking for him, but it's too dark, so she prays to Eothas, asks him to make it morning. And Eothas tells her, he says, I can't do that. I can't upset the balance of night and day. It'll hurt the world. So she starts begging, and he can see she's in pain, and he's got a soft spot for crying little girls. So he says, all right, just this one time. And he starts the dawn. Well, there's all kinds of chaos. Night predators going hungry, folks collapsing because they didn't sleep. But the girl finds her daddy, who'd gotten lost. Guess he was drunk or something, I forget. And that's the whole story. Doesn't have much explanation. What do you make of it? He did, didn't he? Maybe it wasn't the best choice, but you could see how he'd got to it. Makes you think of those parents that let their kids learn from their own mistakes. I always liked that about him. But now I'm starting to worry it's dangerous for a god to be that way. I never said it was any good, did I? Just wondering if he had an opinion on it. Not his best quality, patience. I first heard this story when I was a boy, but it came up more during the Saints' War when we were encamped. We took to wondering, the Eothasians, if maybe Eothas had something good in mind and we just couldn't see it. Like, if we could just know why he was doing it, even if we didn't agree, we'd at least see how he got there. Oh, there's still part of me who wants to believe he's trying to help. You know how I've been saying there's nothing more important to me than us freeing you from Bareth's bonds? Well, I meant that. I did. But there's this other thing I need to see about. On the way, like. I was gonna tell you. Thanks. I'm not sure I could anyway. I don't see it like an obstacle. Well, not unless she's mad. She might be mad. Exactly, you understand. Wait, how's that? I'm glad you see it that way. This thing with the gods holding your soul for ransom, we're still gonna take care of that. Right after. This woman, well, love's not the right word, but she was something to me once, back in Gilded Vale. When I was mayor of Deerford, I had this vision of what I wanted it to look like. It was gonna be what Gilded Vale was, before the legacy. And in some ways it got there. I was proud of that. But it didn't feel like I thought it would. Come to realize there was someone I needed to show it to. Eothas, well, she'd have been about the last person left in Deerwood who'd have seen what I made and understood. After the legacy ended, all I could think about was how to repair what the gods had done. To me, that meant seeing about making Eothasians feel safe in their own homes. That's how I found the night market.
After a while of that, I got to thinking about the days just after the war, when we all stopped feeling safe in the first place. Mostly I thought of the woman I couldn't help, who had to leave her home in the dead of night carrying a little baby that had no soul. Once Theos was gone, there wasn't much keeping me in Deerwood. Thought I'd be happier in Eder, where my folks had gone. It was nice seeing them again. Been almost since the war. But I didn't belong. Found I couldn't talk to anyone, and not just because of the funny way Adirans talk.
We merely swallow our food first.
Over there, across the ocean, it's like nothing I'd been through ever happened. Not the war, not the legacy. Even my parents missed most of it, and I'm glad about that. But all we had to talk about was stuff from when I was a boy. Then I thought of somebody I knew I could talk to. Maybe the last person. And just like that, I was back on a boat, going the other way. Last I saw her, she was going to New Hayamar. Went looking for her there, only to find that she'd left a long time ago. Anyway, I don't expect you to understand, but I gotta know she ended up all right. Yeah, that's something. Coming out of Deerwood during that time. I mentioned the baby she had when I knew her. That was a boy, too. When I knew her, she had another little boy, just a baby. But the legacy deprived him of a proper life. I never found out what happened to him, but with the Hollowborn, you didn't have to ask. Guess he got a brother, though. Nothing personal, but I don't know that there will be an after. Even though you may be the only one I wouldn't bet against. I followed you once when there was something you had to do to put your soul at ease. We went through a lot, but we did it. Now I'm asking you to let me see to mine. No, but I don't see a way to let this go. Least a way's not now. Last time I saw Lava, we got friendly. Now she's got a son. I don't get this at all. There was a Dawnstar settlement on Isongo. The place got trampled just the same. This is Widewen all over again. Only now we know it really is Eothas behind it. Hard to imagine anything that's that important. If I wanted a god like that, I'd start praying to Scan. These were people that devoted their lives to him. Don't know what he's doing, but it sure looks bad. I wouldn't mind if he stopped walking for a minute, let us know what he's up to. I'll tell you one thing. When we catch up to that unstoppable god statue, me and him are gonna have words. Lava better be all right. In my head, I thought we'd get here and she'd scold me for not leaving her alone. That would have been enough for me. She was someone who could survive anything. She should be here. Doesn't seem real. I guess it's possible. That last night, well, it wasn't my best performance. I guess so. Hey, if you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm right here. That boy, he looks like her. But it's hard to believe she raised him. Look in his eyes had more in common with his big brother than with his mom. Never heard of these partisans of the lighted path, but I know the type. Most days I'm against persecuting Eothasians. Now I'm starting to see the other side of it. You almost wish you could lock them in a room with Durance. See how fast they talk their way through the air supply. Doubt they'd ever get past the pre-dinner prayer rituals. Oh, you might be right about that, though I'd rather be doing just about anything else. Sure, just like Theos. Alava'd say leave it alone. She'd say I'd only make a mess of things. But that boy's all that's left of her now. If there's anything left at all. Be the effigy if I don't pay these partisans of the lighted path a visit. We missed it. They're gonna park that thing next to Eothas and slit their own throats. I wish they'd gone ahead with it before they got Bairn involved. If we can't catch it, can you promise me we'll go right now? I knew there was something I liked about you. All right, just let's not be late. Maybe not for you, but there is for me. You in, or am I going alone? That's so? Well, guess that's it then. All right, well, good luck with the big statue in your soul.
Cores, amigo.
This is larger than your personal concerns, Eder. If we don't reach Eothas, none of this will matter.
I got my limits, Aloth. Maybe you should ask yourself about yours.
I don't blame you for going, but, well, I wish you wouldn't.
Now we've got to find someone else to lug around our heavy shields.
Eder, this is your chance to speak to Eothas. Our chance to set things right. Please, let's do this. Together.
Do something for me, Aloth. If he's doing right, help him out. If he's not, tell him I'll be holding him to account. One way or another.
Wait, where will you go? We might never see each other again.
Shodi, you surprised me. If Gon doesn't see what I see in you, you tell him he's not good enough for you. That goes for anyone, man or god.
But then who'll be standing betwixt me and the pointy bits of things?
Sorry I won't be staying on to the end. I wanted to see this through. Well, it's not for nothing that Eothas is doing all this. I give him that. But how many times do we have to stand by and watch, while someone with some big idea wrecks the world trying to make it happen? Maybe he means well, but he's blind to the lives he's destroyed. The gods keep their secrets at any cost. We've seen that. It tore Deerwood apart. Maybe it is better to shine a light at them. There'll be more disasters to come if Eothas fails. The gods can't stop folks from figuring out their secrets, but watch them try. Watch all the innocents like Bayern dying in an effort to please their gods. Watch all the wars they trick us into fighting in their names. If there's some way I can help Eothas put a stop to it, I will. He was so sure that we'd be better off down the road, but he doesn't know that. He's just like the other ones. He's not a god, he just thinks he is. Look what good he's done his followers since he came to the world. Look what he did to Bayern. Maybe Eothas is right that there's no stopping him. Doesn't mean I gotta be on his side. You're right. Oh, you're seeing this more clearly than I am. No, I don't see it that way.
Something else I wanted to ask you. It's about Olava's boy. All right. I won't bother you with it. Well, I was thinking. He's out there, all on his own. Didn't seem like there was anyone even noticed he left to join that cult. And even though we got him out of there, it wouldn't have been his choice had we given him one. I expect if he's left as he is, could be things don't end well for him. I thought, maybe when we're done with all this, if we make it out, I was thinking maybe I should go back there. See if there's something to be done. You got any thoughts on that? Yeah, I don't think I'd feel right if all I did was to leave him the same way I found him. I guess I might be staying in Deadfire a little longer than I thought. That's true. I know he might not take well to me. Might even do things in spite of me. I do worry I'd do more harm than good. Wish there was some way to do more for him, though. Right. Yeah, of course. I didn't mean... I did say I'd stick by you. I get what you mean, but I don't think it's the right time. And there was nobody there to replace Olava. That's how we got into this mess. You're right, though, that he has to be allowed to become a man. I have to think some more on it. Anyway, time being, we got our work cut out for us.
I want the destruction to stop. I want him to finish what he's doing and then go in peace. Only I don't see it playing out that way. For a long time, I hoped that we'd find out what Eothas wants, and we'd finally understand. But lately, there's nothing I'm more afraid of. His goal, it's beyond my reckoning. But I'm starting to think that if the current way of things led to the Purges and Widewind's legacy, maybe there does have to be some kind of change. I just hope he's better at thinking things through than I am. I don't know. I've still got this picture of him in my mind from when I was a kid in church. It's nothing like what we're seeing. Just like it was nothing like Widewind. But that first image, that's still what Eothas is to me. It doesn't seem much different than Theos and Woodica, does he? Powerful beings thinking they know what's best for us, not caring the costs we pay. Starting to think we'd be better off without the gods. At least we'd know the messes were our own. Wasn't what I expected, I know that much. I had this idea that maybe I'd get along with him. Either 'cause he was like his mom, or 'cause he was like, But it was like somebody talked him out of his personality. And when he looked at you, you got the feeling he was looking at someone a long ways behind you. It's not his fault. He's alone out here. And his mom was such a force. If she was so sure of herself, she'd have had that cult leader following her. Hard to replace something like that. Well, we got him out of there. That's the most important thing. But he is all alone out there, and that's what got him into trouble to begin with. Doesn't help matters that he chose death, and we denied it to him. I hope this time it's different. I hope he makes connections, finds something to do with himself. I worry, though. Don't think there's much to say. He was alone, got talked into believing in something that sounded good to him. We couldn't talk him out of it. Another soul torn away by Eothas, whether or not he meant it. The air's different, especially compared to Gilded Vale, where there's more livestock than shovels. Sounds different, too. You wake up to all those bird calls, it really does sound like they're making music. If the birds woke you in Gilded Vale, it was usually a couple crows making the most horrible mating noises you ever heard. Strange thing is, I still get this feeling in me like I wish I was home.